I'm Makoa de Almeida, I'm 19, I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, and I'm an aspiring conservationist. I got into conservation from a pretty young age. Growing up, my dad's always been interested. He actually wanted to be a zoology major as a kid, and I grew up learning about dinosaurs and watching all these documentaries with him and going hiking and whatnot all the time with my dad. And nature has just always been something I've loved, and I've always been super fascinated about the natural world and whatnot. My mom's a high school teacher, and she's always about getting her students, to that next level, getting involved with their community and whatnot. My mom obviously wanted the same for me, so she would always bring me out with her class, and whatever field trips they do, working with different organizations, I'd tag along. So my mom was kind of the one who got me really involved, bringing what I loved and what I was passionate about into the real world. Both of my parents probably had the biggest influence on what I love and I'm passionate about today. Last summer I did an internship with the Army's Natural Resources program, and to this day it was by far the best internship I've done. I got to work in pretty much all of the Army's land here on Oahu, and we basically worked with endangered Hawaiian plant and animal species and conserving them on military land. And a lot of the people I was working with always had me super psyched and super inspired to do super good work, and everybody is always super passionate. Being in the conservation field, everybody's passionate. People don't do it for the money. There's not much money in it, but people do it because they love it. And when you're surrounded by people like that, it's always a great environment. Everybody loves their job. Everybody loves what they're doing, and everybody knows that the work they're doing is super meaningful and super helpful, especially here in Hawaii, and you can really see the impacts right before your eyes.
Yeah. So we've done some outplanting, but most of this over here came up on its own. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is cool. This is Deparia prolifera, and one super neat thing about this is that it produces its babies on the tips of the fronds, so that eventually as they get bigger they start sagging down and down and down, and eventually drops off their babies into the ground. And it's just like, you can almost see how they just grow right out of the top. Super cool native plant.
On top of my internships and work that I do at school, I use my photography to help share what I know about native species and the problems that these species are facing here in Hawaii. I always use photography as a way for me to learn myself more about what I was looking at in the forest, and now it's kind of become a way for me to share what I know with other people. Right now I have an Instagram account called Hawaiian Plants, and it's been something that I've had for a couple years now, and I've gained, I think I'm at 3,000 something followers, which is super awesome. Now it really makes me feel, through photography, that I have a voice, and that voice can help other people to care about what I'm interested in, which is conservation.
This is koa, one of the key trees in a native ecosystem, but they're super cool because these are their true leaves, and they start off like this as little fronds, and as they mature they become modified stems for these phyllodes, and they've evolved like this to better capture rainwater and cloud moisture that drips down. But yeah, it's like a super critical native plant in the ecosystem.
I think conservation in Hawaii is important because a lot of these species have been here for thousands of years. And they've all existed before we have, and to see them go extinct would just be wrong, just because they've lived here in peace for as long as they have, and they have every right to exist as much as we do. A lot of species are going extinct without people even knowing, and to be able to preserve something and look at something and enjoy it now, I'd want my children and every other generation to be able to enjoy it the same way I do. And yeah, conservation is hard work. You're in the field getting dirty, and it's not always very rewarding work. It can frankly be pretty heartbreaking when you go out into areas where something was once bountiful and it was once everywhere, and in a couple of years it's just gone in the blink of an eye. Frankly, that's just conservation. It's not always the most rewarding job, and it's not always the most easiest. You can't solve every problem that there is out there, but we can try, and that's what conservation is all about, is about trying. and doing what you can to make sure that Hawaii species are around for other people to enjoy.